Hey everybody, if you didn't know, I've been in the military about 13 years. 3 years ago I was assigned to the schoolhouse to teach new recruits maintenance procedures as an instructor. One of my responsibilities was to teach them how to properly evacuate AC from a motor vehicle and how to safely do it in accordance with the EPA. We certify soldiers and things like that, and we show them how to use the Robinair. Now, I get a lot of emails from past students that I've had that are asking me how did you use the Robinair machine, so that's what I'm going to show you today. All right, this right here is the 34788 Robinair machine. It has analog gauges, which are your low and your high. It has a digital readout, and then it has an automatic feature and recovery, vacuum, inject oil, and charge. The first thing you're going to do is make sure you have power, and you're going to turn it on, this on switch. Right? And it says right here that I have low refrigerant fill tank. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put in a pound into this vehicle. So I'm not going to fill the tank. So I hit the no. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to look at your gauges and make sure that they're zeroed out. So these are in a vacuum, right? So we're vacuumed here and we're below zero here, and that's what you want. You don't want any moisture in the line or atmospheric pressure. So the first thing you're going to do is treat everything like it's loaded. We know that this is empty because the gauge is reading that it's empty, but I don't know what's inside of this Humvee. So I'm going to hook up my blue hose and my red hose. That's my suction and my high pressure. So unscrew and you pull back on the collar and it come off. Whoops, wrong way. It's difficult with one hand. I'm gonna pull that back. And then these are all wound up, so I'm gonna extend these and then I'll get back to you. All right, so I extended those hoses and I ran them across the back. The first thing you're gonna hook up is your low pressure. You wanna make sure that the needle is all the way back because you don't wanna damage the valve that's inside of there, right? These are two different sizes. So you have a small fitting and a large fitting on the truck, right? We're worried about the small one, that's the suction side or low pressure. So if you look here, this is the compressor, right? It's belt driven. And the compressor has a low fitting and then it has a high fitting. So this is your suction and then this would be your high pressure. So you're gonna take the low side first and you're gonna pull the collar back and you're gonna push it on there. Nice and snug, and then once it's snug on there, you're going to turn this valve all the way in, and you don't have to force it, just till it stops. Then we're going to do the same thing with the high side. So I'm going to unscrew that all the way back, and then put it on this valve. And then we're going to go look at the gauges. Show you again. Needle's all the way back. Push this on, pull the collar back, and then you turn this needle all the way in. So it wants to get stuck on me. Turn this needle all the way in. All right. Now that's on there, and that's on there, low and high. Now we can go back to the Robinair machine, and we can look. So it looks like there was something in there, right? Or it's atmospheric pressure. So we're going to pull on this system, right? Because we want to pull all the impurities and things out. So you come over here, and I don't like using the automatic function. I feel like it locks out or doesn't get what it needs a lot of the time, and it mess it up. So I do this in order. I go recover, and I recover whatever's in the system. And then immediately after that, I do a vacuum, and from the vacuum, you can do a leak test. And then after you have that, then you can charge the proper weight into your vehicle. So we're going to start here with recover, all right? So I'm going to hit recover, all right? And it's going to start checking pressures. And it's saying that there's low pressure and that we're going to recover anyway, because we want to be in compliance with the EPA. I'm not trying to lose my certification here. All right, so recovery's in progress. And we should watch these gauges go sub-zero again. So that's gonna take about 5 minutes. And then after it's done, these needles should be here, sub-zero, and they can hold there. And then I'm gonna pull the vacuum on it, and I'll show you guys how to do a leak test. That'd be the next step. All right, so we're about a minute left. We're pulling on both sides because both lights are illuminated. And we're gonna look right here, and we're pulling about 30 inches of mercury vacuum. And then this is a larger scale, right? So it doesn't go as small as the low side, because this is your high side, higher PSIs. But we are sub-zero. So we're gonna see what it pulls out of here. I believe it was a purge truck, but you treat everything like it's loaded. So let's see what it says. Okay, it says it recovered 0 pounds, 0 ounces. Sometimes these numbers can bounce around a little bit, but right now it's clearing the hoses right into the internal tank. Everything it pulled out is gonna go into that internal tank. And then through the process of recovering, we grabbed a bunch of oil, and this thing also has a waste oil tank. And the waste oil tank is down here, and when it gets full, you dispose of it properly, right? If you ever needed to change a component and you had to use the inject oil feature, you would ensure that your oil bottle is full and connected. Okay, so it looks like we got an ounce. Cool. And the recovery is complete. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to vacuum. I know that we are in a state of vacuum here, but I want that nice vacuum on there, and I want all of the moisture and impurities out of that system in case it was open, right? I don't know anything about it. You treat everything like it's brand new. So the next thing you do is you hit vacuum, right? It's going to ask you to fill the tank again. I'm going to say no. I'm going to go to vacuum, all right, and it's going to start checking pressures. And I'm just going to do a vacuum for 2 minutes. 0200, and then I'm going to hit start. And then from here you can select the leak test, yes or no, right? If you hit yes, it's going to hold the vacuum for additional 10 minutes, and then it's going to monitor these gauges to see if it's leaking, which is a pretty handy tool if you believe you have a leak. But you need to have the system recovered first before you pull the vacuum and do a leak test. So for this, I'm going to say no. Right? And then we have 2 minutes for a vacuum. And I don't predict these gauges will move any, and I'm not going to sit here and waste your time, but I'll come back to you when this vacuum is complete. Got a few seconds left on that vacuum. Vacuum complete. Any key exits. So we're going to look at them gauges again. And we're really pulled down. We're really pulled down there as well on the low and the high side. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to charge, right? So you have to go back to the main screen. It's going to ask me to fill the tank again, right? This system takes 3 pounds and some ounces. It takes about 3 pounds because it's got front and rear AC. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to charge 1 pound. And then I'm going to pull it back out and put it back in the machine. But you hit charge, right? And it's going to ask you how much you would like to charge. I want to charge 1 pound. So 0, 1, 0, 0. And then I want to change from just the high side. I want to do both on both sides. I want an equal system. So I'm going to hit the charge button, and it's going to illuminate. It's going to say low side, then high side. Now I'm charging on both sides of the system. So I'm going to put refrigerant equally on both sides of the system, which should give me a really nice charge. It'll be better for the compressor. So then once you're there, and you have both lights illuminated with the proper charge of 134 alpha, then you hit start. Now we're going to watch these gauges, and they shot up. I get the screen in there too. This machine does it really quick, faster than a gauge set. Charge 1 pound. All right, so then we'll look. It looks like we have about 80 or so on the low side, and we have about, I don't know, 80 or so on the high side. So it's equal on both sides of the system, which is really nice for the compressor. It doesn't have to process all of that and turn it into another state or pump it to the other side. It says press start to equalize hoses, so I'm going to do that. And it wants me to disconnect the high side hose and connect the low side hose and start the AC max start to continue. Now this process is talking about just taking whatever's left over in this hose, if there's anything, in these hoses from the machine, and it's going to suck it back into the compressor using the low side, right? But I'm not interested in that, and I'm not going to start this truck. It's just a training aid. So from this point, I'm going to disconnect my low side hose. And she must be tricky. Come on now. There's my low side. And then my high side. Remember, needle all the way back. Until it stops. You grab this collar and it comes off, all right? Then you're going to take both your hoses and you're going to put it back on the machine. So I've got my low side here. Goes in the bloopers reel, I guess. Make sure it's seated on there. And you're going to screw this in. And you're going to do the same thing with the high side. And then from here, if you disconnect it, you don't want to run the vehicle, you would just recover, and it would recover what you have in the line set back into the Robinair. So, hit no. All right, so I'm going to recover. And it's going to pull those gauges back to 0 so we can start over, right? And now I have a pound in this Humvee that I'm going to recover as well. And I'm not going to waste your time with that because I just showed you how to do that. I'm just setting this back up for the students because they're going to come through here tomorrow and do this. But just wanted to answer some questions for everybody on how to utilize a 34788 Robinair machine that's most commonly found in your military motor pools. So that concludes my video. Thanks for watching.